So our next topic is impacted ear wax. That you all know, right? What is impacted ear wax? Ear wax is getting blocked inside the ear canal. So wax is composed of secretion of sebaceous glands, ceruminous glands, hair, desquamated epithelial debris, keratin, and dirt. So a wax is formed because of the secretion of sebaceous gland, ceruminous glands, hair, desquamated epithelial debris, keratin, and dirt. Sebaceous and ceruminous glands. Ceruminous glands is nothing but modified sweat glands open into the space of the hair follicle. You all know the outer part of the ear canal is formed of skin and there are hair follicles. So sebaceous and ceruminous glands are present here and secretions of this sebaceous and ceruminous gland is secreted to this hair follicles. Sebaceous glands produce a rich fatty acids. Fluids are rich in fatty acid while the secretion of ceruminous gland is rich in lipids and pigment granules. So sebaceous glands, fatty acids rich secretion, and from the ceruminous gland it is the lipid secretion. And secretion of both these glands mixes with the desquamated epithelial cells and keratin shed from the tympanic membrane and deep bony meatus to form wax. So this secretion will get mixed with what? Desquamated epithelial cells and keratin shed from the tympanic membrane and deep bony meatus to form the wax. Like that, wax is formed. So the secretion from sebaceous and ceruminous gland will get mixed with the epithelial cells, keratin and dirt and forms the wax. So that is how the wax is formed inside the ear canal. Next, what is the function of a wax? Wax has a protective function as it lubricates the ear canal and also it entraps any foreign material that happens to enter the canal. So it will protect the ear canal, right? In the nose also there is mucus segregation because it will protect mucus and hair to protect the nose from the foreign particles to enter, right? Like that, inside ear also there are hair and also wax that will lubricate the ear canal and also protect or entraps the foreign material that is coming inside the ear canal. Normally, only a small amount of wax is secreted, which dries up and is later expelled from the meatus by movements of the jaw. Normally, only a little wax is secreted and it will dry up. And if we chew chapati or strong things, carrots like that and all, it will come out by hard substance. If we chew, because of the movement of the jaw, it will come out by itself. As some people sweat more than others, the activity of ceruminous glands also varies. You know, right? Some people will sweat more and somebody will sweat less. If there are people who are having more sweat, this excessive wax may be secreted and deposited at a plug in the meatus. Those people have wax stuck inside their meatus. Also, certain other factors for stucking in these ear wax are narrow and tortuous ear canal. Some people will have a narrow ear canal and also tortuous ear canal. Stiff air or obstructive lesion of the canal. There will be stiff air that won't allow the wax to come out, or obstructive lesions of the canal. Some lesions that will obstruct the passage and that's how it won't come in extrosis. May favor retention of wax. So that will favor retention of wax inside the ear canal. It may dry up and form a hard impacted mass. It will dry up and it forms a hard mass inside our ear canal. So like that, wax will get impacted inside our ear canal. So this is wax, how it is forming and what is the function of the wax, and normally it will come out in which all circumstances the wax won't come out and it will get stuck. Okay, hope you understood till this. Next comes the symptoms. Patient usually presents with impairment of hearing or sense of blocked ear. Some people will come and tell they are not able to hear properly because the conduction should happen for hearing, right? So if the ear canal is blocked with this wax, the sound won't conduct properly to the tympanic membrane and there will be hearing loss. Or sense of blocked ear. Some patients will come and tell they are having a blocked ear. They are not able, they are feeling like the ears are blocked. That we usually get, right? Tinnitus and giddiness may result from impaction of wax against the tympanic membrane. If it is against it reach till tympanic membrane, then the patient will get tinnitus, ringing sound inside the ears, or giddiness. Giddiness will also get. Reflex cough due to stimulation of auricular branch of vagus may sometimes occur. So sometimes there will be stimulation of vagus nerve. So because of that, the patient will get reflex cough. The onset of these symptoms may be sudden when water enters the ear canal during bathing or swimming and wax swellen up. So mainly after taking bath, or if they are going for a swimming, the symptoms will get, because after entering the water this wax will get swollen up. At that time this hearing problem and this blocked ear and all these symptoms will happen. Long-standing impacted wax may ulcerate the meatal skin and result in granuloma formation, that is wax granuloma. So long-standing impacted wax can create ulceration in the meatal skin and it can result in the granuloma formation, that is known as wax granuloma. So these are the symptoms of impacted wax. So the patient will have less hearing and also a blocked feeling, and if it is near the tympanic membrane, then the patient will have tinnitus and giddiness, and if it will stimulate the vagus, then it will cause reflex cough, and if the onset of the symptom may be sudden after entering water inside our ear, especially after bathing or swimming. And if long standing this ulceration is then it will ulcerate the long standing, that is long time the wax is there, it will ulcerate the meatal skin, that means around skin, and it will cause granuloma formation. So these are the symptoms. Next comes the treatment of wax. So treatment of wax consists of removal by syringing or by instruments. Hard impacted mass may sometimes require prior softening with wax solvent. So if it is very hard, we can remove it with syringing or with instruments. We can't remove it. At that time we have to soften the wax and then we have to remove. A technique of syringing the ear. How we have to syringe the ear to remove the contents from ear canal. Patient is seated with ear to be syringed towards the examiner. That side we have to turn towards the examiner and sit. A towel is placed around the neck. A kidney tray is placed over the shoulder and held by the patient like this. You can see in this picture. Patient's head is slightly tilted over the tray. It should be tilted over the tray to collect the return fluid. Pinna is pulled upwards and backwards, and a stream of water from the ear syringe is directed along the posterior wall of the meatus. So we have to push the stream of water to the posterior wall, that is backside, upside we have to push that water. Pressure of water built up deeper to the wax expels the wax out. The pressure of water going inside will expels the wax outside. If the wax is tightly impacted, it is necessary to create a space between the wax and the meatal wall for the jet of water to pass. Otherwise, syringing will be ineffective or may even push the wax deeper. So if the wax is tightly impacted, then you have to create a space between the wax and the meatal wall, and the jet of water has to pass through that, and then it has to expel the water outside. Otherwise the syringing will be ineffective, and also it will push the wax more inside. Ear canal should be inspected from time to time to see if all wax has been removed. So while doing, we have to examine the ear canal whether we remove all the wax out. Unnecessary syringing should be avoided. If it is already taken out, don't do it again. So at the end of the procedure, ear canal and tympanic membrane must be inspected and dried with a plug, cotton plug. So with the cotton, we have to dry. We have to inspect this the ear canal, and then we have to dry the ear canal and tympanic membrane. Any ulceration seen in the meatal wall as a result of impacted wax is protected by application of suitable antibiotic ointment. If we see any ulceration because of this wax, then we have to apply antibiotic ointment there. Normally, boiled tap water cooled to body temperature is used. So we can't use it very hot and cold. We have to use the water in a body temperature. That means lukewarm water only used for syringing. So if it is too cold or too hot, it can stimulate the labyrinth as in caloric test and cause vertigo. Vertigo means giddiness. If it is too hot or too cold, it will cause giddiness to the patient. Too much force used in syringing may rupture the tympanic membrane, especially when it has already been weakened by previous disease. If some diseases are there, which this infection in the medullary and all, then the tympanic membrane will be weakened. So, if with full pressure we are pushing using syringe, then it will cause the rupture of tympanic membrane. So, we should be careful while doing this syringing. Patient complains of intense pain and may become giddy and even faint if they are having any previous history of any ear disease. So we have to take a complete history before doing all these procedures. It is necessary before syringing to ask the patient for any past history of ear discharge or an existing perforation. So if a perforation is there, then we are going to activate that again. So a quiescent otitis media may be reactivated by syringing, because if there is a perforation in the tympanic membrane, if we are doing a syringing, the water will go inside the middle ear and it will again cause a infection in the middle ear. So don't do at that time. So proper history should be taken before doing syringing, and syringing the patient should be seated properly with the head tilted towards the kidney tray, and the syringing should be done to the posterior superior wall only. We should dry up after doing syringing. We have to examine and we have to dry the ear canal and tympanic membrane properly. And first, before doing that, we have to take a complete history of the patient about any other ear discharge or a tympanic membrane perforation. Next comes the instrumental manipulation. Using the instrument, how to do it should always be done by skilled hands and under direct vision. Cerumen hook, scoop or Jobson horn probe are often used. So this is the probe we usually use for removing the ear wax. First, a space is created in between the wax and the meatal wall. The instrument is passed beyond the wax and the whole plug then dragged out in a single piece. So first, it will be a big mass, and in between we have to create a hole and put that hook inside that between the meatal wall and this wax, and slowly we have to scoop that out. The one end of this looks like a scoop only, like an ice cream scoop small, so we can scoop it out easily with this rod. If it breaks, syringing must be used to remove the fragments. While doing that, if the pieces got break, the ear wax got breaks, then syringing will be proper at that time. Occasionally, if the wax is too hard and impacted to be removed by syringing or instrument, it should be softened by drops of 5% soda bicarb in equal parts of glycerin and water instilled 2 or 3 times a day for a few days. So if it is hard, then we have to soften it. We'll get market available drops are there to soften the ear wax nowadays. Hydrogen peroxide, liquid paraffin or olive oil may also achieve the same result. Commercial drops are available nowadays to soften this ear wax. Nowadays, they are doing microsuction earwax removal. That is nothing but microsuction earwax removal is performed under a microscope to see what we are doing, and a medical suction device is used to suck the wax out. So a very thin steel fitting is fitted to the end of the suction tube, which allows us to gently suck out the earwax from our canal. So with a microscope, we can view the inside the ear using a microscope, and with this suction tool, we will take the contents outside. So that is suction. These are the methods used for removing ear wax. So syringing instrument we can use, or this suction method can be used to remove the ear wax from the ear canal. So hope you all understood how the wax is formed, and how it is getting impacted inside, and the symptoms patient comes with, and also the treatment, what all treatment should be given for impacted earwax. Thank you.